Hello, it is I, Beanie Man, back with another video, indeed. So I've got quite an interesting, well, I think quite interesting at least. But I'm dressed quite smart today. First of all, because I was at church and I was out for the majority of the day. It's now 6:03. That's quite nice. It's always good to be out. But when when you're wearing these, yeah, but it's still quite nice. A bit of exercise. Um, but yeah, anyway, sorry. So a little bit ago, a friend, I don't know if he'll watch this, but an old friend from school, he messaged me with a few questions, to be honest, but he was asking, why did I start dressing this way? Um, well, I think the word he used was gothic, because I've been dressing this way for a long time, since school, and I thought, you know what? This would make an interesting concept for a video. Yes, indeed. I'm hoping not to drag it out for too long, but if it does, because I like to waffle sometimes, once I start going, I can't stop. But just in case if that does happen, I've got a nice drink here. It's fizzy apple juice. It's quite nice. Ooh, I'll have that close by. Actually, I'll have that here. Actually, no, I won't. Yeah, well. So I'm going to talk about why I started dressing this way, the impact it had on my social life in a way, and what I've learned, to be honest. Okay, so um, oh, I've not really told many people because it's something I like to keep to myself. But I feel like it's nice to talk about. So when I was about 12, 13 years old, um, I had a loss in the family. Um, it hit me quite hard. At the time I was already going through quite a bit, and it just hit much harder, to be honest. Um, So yeah, I wanted a way to express myself. And my sister, she listened to this radio station on TV called Kerrang Radio, and it was all like punk music and kind of like gothic metal, um, emo, that sort of stuff. And I would see the various bands on there. I'm just there like, that's quite cool. Men wearing makeup. I didn't know that was a thing. Um, so I thought, you know what? I quite like it. I quite like the music as well. I'll give it a try. And I didn't get much in the way of pocket money. So when I was about, well, when I got money eventually, I bought my first eyeshadow palette. It was like one of those mini ones you can get from like a supermarket. It had four different shades of eyeshadow and one in the middle, and a little applicator. I bought it. I tried it on, and I was like, because at that moment I felt more myself in the first 13 years of my life than I ever have done. That makes no sense. You know what I mean? I felt more myself than I ever have. And I don't know. So I kept that going for a while. And about a year later, 2 years later, maybe, quite close together, I wanted to experiment more because I kept on seeing these artists and I was exploring myself with YouTube searches and things like that. I found bands like Bring Me the Horizon and Motionless in White, and honestly, like the music, it got me through some hard times. It got me through a lot of hard times, and it was quite nice. I didn't have enough money to buy like anything else like lipstick, but when I got a bit of money again, maybe like my birthday or whatever, um, I bought like a face paint thing, and I used the black from that to color in my lips. Some people thought that I was a bit sick because like it would have the red around it. Um, so I just clocked my makeup is not. I've had this beanie on most of the day, so it's a bit worn off. Yeah, people thought I was sick. I was like, no, or allergic. because it was like red. But no, I just didn't know how to put it on. Um, but then for my 14th birthday, I believe, my sister got me my first lipstick and eyeshadow brush, and I was like, oh, because she was all for it. She was like, "You do you, man. You do you. I don't really care. I'll help you if you wish, and I'll buy you some things." It was like a dark purple. It was like so good. Oh my goodness. I wish I still had it. But I've learned that I like matte lipsticks instead of like sticky. Like, if it is, I just like dry it, I guess, with like powder or whatever to make it dry. Um, but that's when I started wearing the lipstick. That's when I noticed people were disappearing. Not like bad in a bad way, but like my friends. They didn't really care about the eyeshadow. They were like, it's a bit weird, but you do you, I guess. That when I started wearing lipstick, that's when they distanced themselves. And I went to visit a friend with lipstick and eyeshadow. I was like, "Yo, I'm not doing anything. You wanna come and hang out for a bit?" He looked out his window, didn't say anything. He just shook his head like. I was just there like, "All right then, fair enough. See you at school." Yeah, it wasn't easy. Um, but then like girls, I noticed I was getting along better with girls. Some guy friends as well. They didn't really care, but most did, and I was bullied quite a lot. Um, but I had a good friend base to like, you know, stick up for me, I guess. Um, I was still going through things at home, and it wasn't the best. I don't really want to get into all that like personal details. Just say stuff. Um, yeah, I kept on like pushing my style more and things like that. Like trying new things. I went to like Poundland and places where they do like cheap makeup. I got like some lip liners, some cheap eyeshadows, some foundations, um, nail paints, all sorts of stuff to try and push the envelope, if you will, and kind of like be more myself. Because when I wore it, I felt so much better, honestly. uh, yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Um, I'm just having an epiphany. Wow. Okay. I left home at 17. Um, yeah, I left home at 17. Yeah, I know the age. I just didn't know what else to say after that. So I had something I wanted to say, but I was like, just that. And yeah, I left home at 17. But then I started experimenting more and more with different colors, different things like techniques that I've learned from YouTube videos, like gothic makeup tutorials and such. And everything that I've learned is like, well, everything that I do, I should say, is what I've learned over the years. And I really love it. I used to like do all sorts of things. I was trying different styles. Like I used to call myself alternative, and I still do, because like it's a mixture of like a goth some days, emo some days, and like scene other days. Like the scene is like neon and things like that is what I got from that. But then my friends who would come and visit me when I was wearing the neon stuff, it made me laugh. Honestly, it sounds mean, but it also sounds funny, and it was. They used to call me a chuppa chup lolly. Those lollies with like the really bright colours. The chuppa chups lolly. My Christ. Oh, God. My brother, he wasn't the biggest fan. He wasn't the biggest fan of it by any means. But you know, he's gotten used to it. He's learned that he's much older now, and he's like, you know what? When you first started, I thought you were a poser. I thought you were just doing it for the attention. But now that I can see many years down the line, this is just who you are, and I accept you for it. I'm like, thank you. But yeah, those friends are also gone because my style kept on getting more and more extreme. I was actually looking at old pictures last night to see if I could put any in the video, and I think when I saw them, I almost cried because I think like I want to keep it for myself. I want to keep it for myself because it's kind of like a journey, and like even though I'm talking about it, I would rather keep what I used to do to myself. You know, not that I'm embarrassed or anything like that, because everyone starts somewhere. You know, even if you're really terrible at makeup or like style or even video games or cooking, you know, the more you try it, the more it works out. But yeah, I just want to keep it to myself. My old pictures and that. Yeah. Um, when I started shaving off the eyebrows because it makes more space for like makeup application. Um, and it's true. I've not had eyebrows for years. Every time I shave them about every 2 days. Um, yeah. Then I started getting like benefits, right? So I was like, oh, cool. So I can buy more stuff, and I did. I did. My sister, when I was living at home, she gave me a like a box for like makeup and things like that, and I had quite a sizable collection. Um, Also mainly because I kept it in one box, and she was like, "No, no, no, I'll give you my old one." I'm like, "Thank you," and I've still got it. I don't have the key for it though, but I've still got it. Um, so yeah, my style kept on evolving. I was doing it a few times on a weekly basis. My hair was like really long, and I would have one side shaved, and I would like style it so it was like big, and it's like it was really lovely. It was really lovely. I really want my long hair again, but I can't. But I was approached one day by a person who worked in a magazine for a magazine, and I was in two of them. I do have them up there, but I'm making a video, maybe another video. But I was in like two magazines. One I didn't know about, and two, she actually had planned it as well. I went to like a photo shoot. It took all day. I did my own makeup. They did my hair and the outfits, and there I learned more about how to style my specific hair. And it was like, oh, it was incredible. I would watch videos from if you search up on YouTube Vogue Extreme Beauty, there's a lot of people there who have extreme styles, and I learned so much from those people as well, and like their stories and like their techniques and their fashion. It just inspires me really. Um, this is kind of like a Victorian esque. You know, some people wouldn't think it. Fair enough. It's like a ruffly thing I got from Camden Market. It's like a ruffly tie thingy, a vest. But yeah, um, but like the more that I would wear my style, I would prefer going to Camden. If you know Camden, you are lovely. Because like living in the area that I do and growing up as well, I was name called quite a lot. I was chased quite a lot. I was bullied quite a lot. I had my first panic attack, I'd say at like the age of 16 because I was dressed so extremely compared to all my friends. Like they would be wearing like tracksuits and things like that, and I'd be wearing like shorts and like my own kind of clothing because I like to make my own clothing as well. Like reuse fashion, like make something new out of something old. So that's what I did, and it just went on for quite a lot. And I was bullied, well, everything pretty much. I kept on having panic attacks. Um, Obviously, I'm older now, so I kind of like I'm more able to like control it. But like through the years, it's I don't know, like through the years, it kind of just made me realize, like even in college, like I had friends, yeah, but I was also bullied a lot as well. Some people would say understandable, which it is, because like not everyone accepts someone who dresses this way, but that shouldn't be a reason to pick on someone, you know? You know? So, Yeah, but like lately, well, not lately, like through, I think I said like the last 3-ish years, I do still wear my makeup, and I still enjoy doing it. And sometimes it does take quite a while to do, if depending on what I do. But that's half the fun. But like, I think the thing that stops me most, because I used to wear it all the time, but now it's like on occasion. I do want to start wearing it more, and I think talking about it now, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be. I'm gonna be myself. I don't really care who accepts it. No, no, I do care who doesn't. It's just it's me. It's me, and like people's like if you want to dress the way you want to dress, fair enough. But if you want to dress like this, but and too afraid because of you don't know what people will say, if your family will accept you, things like that. Do it for you. Do it for your own self. If it's how you want to express yourself, like I did, do it. Because at the end of the day, you're not hurting anyone just by putting on makeup. You're not hurting anyone by experimenting with your style. You're being yourself. And that's the main thing that you should, you know, I don't know, my brain. I've not really spoken about this before to many people, and it's just like I'm kind of empowering myself. Like I don't know, it's just quite nice to think about, really. You know, despite my experiences with people on the streets, like whether it be teenage like roadmen kids or whatever, which was the main majority. Um, some adults, understandably, because sometimes it's like it's a different generation, and even my mum, she said once, I don't think your dad would have accepted this. It wasn't my dad that passed away, by the way. But no, it's I don't know, but like you just like another thing to kind of consider, like not everyone's going to accept you, and as heartbreaking as that sounds and as sad as that sounds, it's kind of something you'd need to know, because like even if you like do things for people when they want you to, like you can't please everyone, you know you know what I'm saying. Not everyone's gonna be open to the fact that you're different. Not everyone's going to accept it. Some people may take it a step further and throw insults at you, and yeah, but don't let that stop you from being your authentic self. Yeah, live life. Live life indeed. That's what I've learned. Admittedly, it has been something that has been slipping my mind, because like I've mostly just like lost friends, really, and some relationships like hadn't worked out because of it, like my style. But no, if people don't like it, they can just leave. Like if people don't like it, they can say something, which I don't know why they would do, or they can just go somewhere else. Enjoy life with people who they want to be around. You know, and if they're a true friend, if they're a true friend or a true loved one, then they should be open to the fact that you're wanting to be something that you want to be, and just accept you for it. You know. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, really. 6:22. Damn. I want to take this time as well to say that I'm probably going to be doing a few videos. Well, not a few, but like I have one in the works, but I need the money for it. Because I want most of my videos to be unboxings, because like I like to buy things, really, and I like to share my excitement with people, as I've mentioned in a few other videos. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I do have one in mind actually that I might actually get my brother involved with. If you're watching this, let me know if you want to be involved in a video. Because there's this shop in Camden. It's like an American candy shop, and they have all sorts of like different like sweets and things like that that I've never tried, and neither has my brother, and I kind of want to try them. And I know that he would too, because he likes Camden as well, and he'd probably be open to the idea of doing a video with me where we just try all sorts of different sweets, drinks, all that thing, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that might be fun. Maybe next week, who knows? But yeah, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it's kind of, if you're watching this and you want to do something like this, I hope it's inspired you in a way, or given you the confidence you need to express yourself and be who you want to be. Of course, in your own time. No one can rush you, you know. In your own time, you know. It's not something that can be rushed, you know. When I started makeup, I only started with eyeshadow. Took a bit of time to wear the to wear the lipstick. But then when I started going, whoop, I couldn't stop. It was such an exhilarating feeling. So you do get looks as well, you know. I was on the bus when I was coming home this evening, and I got a few looks, and you can feel it. You can like feel the vibe, but in a way, like it's not like for an attention thing dressing like this, but like when you know people are looking. For me personally, it's kind of like, ooh, ooh, like I don't know, I don't know. It's cool. I don't know. I don't know what else to really say. I'm getting quite emotional talking about this. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've already said that, haven't I? If not, you know what? I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know. And yeah, let me know what you think of this style of video. Um, I'm probably not going to make another one like this because there's not much else to talk about. It's just my experiences with the people, friends and relationships, how long it took me, the reasons why I was dressing like this. And I thought it would take a lot longer, to be honest. It's only been about 20 minutes. Yeah, so it's not too long. But yeah, bye bye.